We are live, Nikki and Monica. It was funny before starting. We were struggling with our lighting, but everything is a learning. We are still in a learning curve, I think. We are in a constant learning curve in life, I think. But well, I believe you look elegant.
Oh, thank you. Well, maybe somebody who's watching, we'll give it a few minutes for people to come on. Maybe somebody, I'll show them what it does, and maybe somebody can tell us why it does that. Because I've never seen that before. In all my time working online, I've never had this happen. Kind of funny.
It's funny, but well, anyways, well, this is Monica Velarde. I am live here with Nikki Horton. She's my business partner. I'm very honored. I feel very honored to have her live because I've been watching her working on this, and I love the way she works because of her energy and the way she performs. She's very natural and something that I really like and something that I relate to. I prefer to be as I am. When you follow me, you can see that I commit a lot of mistakes, and they are live, or you can watch it on my social media pages. And well, people laugh sometimes, like what I do and what I upload, but this is me. This is real world, and yes. So I'm a mom of three kids. I'm a single mom. I am from Mexico, and I am currently living in Canada. I am BC and British Columbia and White Rock. And well, Nikki, I'd love to introduce yourself, please.
Okay, well, I'm Nikki. I am a digital business coach for the last 3 years or so. I am originally from Alberta. My family lives in BC, right near you, Monica, and I'm in Ontario now. I'm a mom and a wife, and I have two sons. And I used to work in the corporate world, and I left that all behind and went digital. So much better situation here.
Yeah, definitely. So we can relate about belonging or working in the corporate world. I was also there for 20 years. So we know how it is to be working for someone else. We know how it is being a mom and having to leave our kids or deciding either to be with our kids or continue on our escalator, going upstairs and escalating in the business world or in the corporate world. And having found this is just a different story because we can be there for our kids and being moms or wives. It's just so nice to be close to our family and not missing those stepping stones for our kids, like when they the first walk and their first words, or when they have problems when they're teenagers or whatever happens to them, that we are there for them, right?
Absolutely. And I think that when you're deep in something, when you're in your life and you're just trying to get through day to day to day, you don't always realize the things that are missing. Or you may realize that maybe, you could have been a little nicer to a family member, or you're feeling a little tired, but you just think, oh, tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow will be better, right? And I think for me and for a lot of people, when the world shut down in 2020 and we kind of all took a step back and stayed home for a while and kind of looked, at least for me, looked at our lives and said, like, is this how I want to live? I think that's when a lot of people made the move to online. For me, I was forced into it because I lost my job. I was permanently laid off when the shutdown happened. And after being home for so many months and having time with my husband and time with my sons and time to travel, because we had our camper, we were self-contained, so we still went out and traveled around a bit. um, that's when I kind of said to myself, this is better. I like this better. I don't, when you suddenly don't have to work 40 to 60 hours a week, it is amazing how quickly you can fill that time with other things and prioritize being a happy family, prioritize your happy marriage. And for me, I mean, I spent the first year, 2 years, really, both of us did, really redefining what our relationship, what we wanted our marriage and our life to be. And it's been good for us, it's been good for my kids. And if it wasn't for a digital business, that never would have happened. We would have just continued going as we were going until we retired. And then, who knows after that? But it's been
Yeah.
fantastic.
I believe that pandemia was something that just shifted our mindset, right? For worldwide, I can say, But we also belong to a generation where we saw our parents retiring after 30, 40, 50 years, working at the same spot. And we were raised thinking that was what we had to do, you know. And then pandemic hit. Honestly, when I saw my kids, my first boy, now he's 20, he just got 20. And I saw him in this little crib, I was like, oh my God. I thought that I was gonna stay at traveling and taking him to daycare and all this. It was like, oh no, I really don't want this. And that was such a difficult moment for me, because then I had to quit that and also quit my lifestyle, you know, and my own earnings, and was depending on someone else's earnings. Even though it's your partner, it's hard, you know. And being a mom and a woman, that's the reality that we have to face when we get pregnant or we get our kids. It's like, oh my God, what can I do now? And well, if I think back, I wish I had found this when that was the moment and I had prepared. Because something that a lot of people are doing here is that they don't quit immediately. Sometimes they have the opportunity to quit and do this full time. But if not, it's also okay, because they can do it after work or during lunchtime or before or on weekends or whatsoever. And they can prepare this plan B, like the one you didn't have when you were laid off. In my case, when I had to leave my job because my ex-husband was also traveling a lot. So it was like who will take care of my kids? I was traveling like 80% of my time. So if I had had that, this opportunity backwards, it would have been just so different to me than when I look at these young people that are having their kids and they have to take their kids to daycare, or they have to stop work, and then what can I do now? It's just
Yeah,
another experience.
you're 100% right. And a lot of the people that I see starting their own business and working with me now, a lot of them are people who they're actually pretty content where they are, but they want more out of life. And with the rising costs, right, everything's going up. Groceries is going up, gas is going up, daycare is going up, and it's all going up. And they don't have that cushion. So if there's any kind of emergency, if they lose their job, if they have an illness or an injury, if the world shuts down again, if, you know, whatever, if there's something that happens to throw them off that pattern they have living check to check, they have nothing to fall back on. So like you said, a lot of them are still working, but they're now starting their digital business to build a nest egg, to build passive income, so that, you know, if they love their job, they can keep doing it. But there's something about going to work and knowing that you could quit that makes work so much more enjoyable. And I've been in that position before. And when you have a digital business, you show up for work. If you know that you don't have to be there to pay your bills, to survive, it sure makes it easier to not sweat the small stuff, right? So there's a lot of advantages of starting and being able to do it slowly and build that passive income. And, you know, some people will retire earlier. Some people will just live a better life. They'll have more extras. They'll travel more. They may still continue to work, and that's fine. But yeah, for sure, it's an opportunity that I never ever thought I would embark on, and that I'm so glad that I did. For sure.
Yes,
For so many reasons.
you just mentioned something about traveling or vacation. Um, when I was in a job search, I'm here in Canada. It was like, okay, when I saw the conditions, like you have 1 week or 2 weeks vacation in the year. It's like, oh my God, I don't want to go back to that, you know, like, oh no. And I'm a veterinarian. My background is veterinary medicine. And I love my profession. And if I had to redo it 1 million times, and I would redo it. And I love what I did, and I love what I do in terms of my profession. And that's something that I always tell everyone, that I love this business. I really love it. At the beginning, it was a little bit struggling for me because I am not tech savvy, but I just committed with myself and said, I have to learn this, and I learned it. And I'm still in this learning process. I think this process will never end, you know, because also technology is constantly shifting, you know. So either you continue learning or you're done. But then I tell people, you know, this is so good to me that I'm working on it. It's growing, but my target is to go back to my profession because I want to do it, not because I have to do it. And waiting for 20 weeks until I have that week free, that week off, even though I like it, it's not something for me. It's something different I want. And I want to, for example, right now I'm planning to go to Mexico to visit my mom. I don't have to ask anyone.
That's
I
right.
don't have to ask for permission or anything. And I just take my computer, my phone, I'm sitting here in a restaurant. And I'm doing this here, and it's more than perfect for me because I can be here. I'm present on my business. I can travel to visit my mom, and this continues growing. And then if someone joins, then I know that it's in my phone, on my computer, and that's it.
Absolutely. It's funny you mentioned that too, because I actually just got back this week from Nevada. My sister called me and said, "Hey, I'm going to visit mom and dad in Nevada. If you want to come, this is when I'm going." And so I hung up the phone and I booked a flight and I got to spend time with my sister and my parents, right? And I didn't have to worry. I just had to pack my laptop and bring it with me. And nothing changed really. I stayed a little longer than I intended. Actually, my husband was like, "Hurry up and come home. You've been gone a long time." So I had to come back. But, the weather's nicer there this time of year. So it was fun. We had a good time.
Yes, definitely. That's something that I'm so glad for. And something also that, there's a lot of scamming activities out there in the digital world. That is something that I really have to mention here because I was scammed before, and many, many people have been scammed before. And this is not the case because I wanted something that I could rely on, and I didn't also want something that I was jeopardizing my kids or my family's future.
Yeah.
So this is completely legal because we're paying taxes. This is one thing, and the other thing is that I want to mention here in the audience to our audiences that we have this informative webinar. It's just 90 minutes long. It is twice a week, every single week, and we go live with different business partners. They're nurses, lawyers, stay-at-home moms, veterinarians,
Engineers, teachers.
there
Yeah.
are every type of backgrounds, and you can relate with what some of them. Some of our kids have kids, some don't, some are married, some are not. So any kind of business, any age above 15, 18, sorry. So, and this is informative. The first 40 minutes or so, it's just how this business gets run. And the next 40, 50 minutes, you can hear different stories. So I think 2 weeks ago I was there. So
Good for you.
that webinar was linked to my website. I have here.
That was for sure. That was my favorite part, was listening to the real people. I watched the webinar several times because, like you, I felt kind of afraid that I didn't want to, send someone money and get scammed or get sold a, $5,000 piece of paper that tells me what to do. So I kind of like that we have the steps, right? So the webinar is free. There's no commitment. You're just watching the information, and it's live every Tuesday and Thursday. So like me, a person who's interested can watch it and rewatch it and rewatch it and see that it's different people. And you can tell they're real people. Like, I could tell right away they weren't actors or anything like that. It's very real. And then everything that we do goes in steps. So when you take the next step, everything is money back guarantee. So you have some time to look at it and see what you want to do. And then you take the next step and the next step. And so you're not sort of forced into an all or none situation. You can decide if you want to proceed as you get more information. And I just think that that's the way to do it, right? When I was looking, I had one company tell me, okay, it's $4,500 and we'll teach you how to run a digital business and yada, yada. And I said, great, what are you going to show me? And they said, well, we'll send you the course. And I said, but what's in the course? And they said, well, you'll see it when you get it. And I said, well, what if I open it and it's no good? And they said, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, like, is there a money back? And they said, well, no, once you open it, you have the information. And I thought, you could send me anything. They could send me 5 pages. They could send, like, how do you know, right? Whereas with ours, everything's above board. You get to see everything. You get to, have personal one-on-one conversations and be part of a group to ask questions. Like, it's pretty phenomenal. I think it's probably the best opportunity available digitally right now.
Yes, I have been in the past with multi-level companies, 2 of them, and I didn't have the experience I was expecting. So this is not an MLM program or a scheme. So that's something that I was already through. Another thing is that I was also in digital companies where I had to sell products. This is not a case either. We do not have to sell anything here. We do not have to have any storage at home. You don't have to speak with people. If you don't like to do that, you can if you want, but you don't have to. Everything or almost everything is done through social media. So this is it.
And
It's
automation.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
really easy. You just have to set it up once, and then of course you have to be looking at if it's working and everything. But you set it up once, and then it's done, and you just have to continue working, showing up. You need to be coachable, of course. You need to work hard. It's not something that happens overnight, but if you commit, if you are there, you show up and you treat it as a job, not as a hobby, then you will for sure have results in the midterm.
For sure. I always tell people it's not hard work, but it does require some commitment and consistency. If you think you're going to push a button and earn a bunch, it doesn't work like that. It's not get rich overnight. And like I said, it's not hard, but you have to commit. And if you do, anyone, literally anyone can be successful in this business.
Yeah, yeah. Anyone who wants to commit and wants to shift their lifestyle.
That's right.
And your families.
That's right.
Well, thank you so much. I don't want to hold you longer, but this has been fantastic. And well, here we are. You can reach out to us on our Facebook pages. And thank you so much, Nikki, for joining me live.
Thanks for having me, Monica. Take care, everybody.
Take care. Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye.